It's Wednesday, time now for another Discuss vid. And this idea has been percolating in my head for a while now. In fact, during one of my live streams, one of you had a similar idea. I forgot who it was. If I remembered, I would give you partial credit. It was one of you. It was probably you, wasn't it? But anyways, Grand Theft Auto Online life lessons. Now, this is in no particular order. And we're just going to go with 10. Yeah, I know I once upon a time did a short-lived top 10 series. Stopped doing it because, I mean, there's a bazillion channels out there that do top 10 vids already. I went with 10. It just worked that way. And if you have any life lessons that you've learned from Grand Theft Auto Online that are not included in my list, feel free and leave them below in the comment section, along with topic ideas, suggestions for future Discuss episodes. Be sure and check the playlist first. But if you have a Discuss topic or suggestion idea, feel free and let me know as well. Once again, below in the comment section, Twitter, Facebook, as well as Discord, all the social media to the GeauxBurns Nation linked below in the description section. So we'll start off with the first one I wrote down. Once again, no particular order. I just wrote them down one at a time as they popped out of my head. First off, nothing in life is free, and this is very true in Grand Theft Auto Online. Even if you don't really spend money, like you don't go out buying new clothes every day or a new mask or a new vehicle or a new property. Let's just say you're very frugal. You're content with one high-end apartment and a 10-car garage, which may or may not be already filled. Every day you're still paying for something, whether it's bullets or snacks or body armor or, you know, the mechanic fee or the quote-unquote utilities for your high-end apartment. Nothing in life is free, even for people in real life that don't really spend much money anyways. They work hard. They only buy what they need for groceries. They basically wear their clothes out till they're in tatters and they have no choice but to go buy new clothes. The same thing goes with their vehicle. They're content with their apartment or their home. Nothing special, but, you know, it's a roof over their head. At the same time, in real life, you also have to pay taxes. And you also have to pay for all these things that I just mentioned. The same thing goes in Grand Theft Auto Online. Now, let's just say one day you're in your nice high-end apartment with your 10-car garage, and you have a few decent vehicles you've stolen off the street, or you got the Elegy from the Rockstar Social Club, which you could get for quote-unquote free, even though the upgrades aren't free. Once again, nothing in life is technically free. And you decide, you know what? There's a new supercar that came out, or a new sports car, or a new motorcycle that I really want. Or, you know, in my case, a few weeks ago, with my brand new Grand Theft Auto Online PC character, Claudette, I wanted a buzzard attack helicopter because you definitely need a buzzard attack helicopter for a lot of things like VIP work, as well as certain contact missions I enjoy grinding, and it's also fun to fly around the map in and get into firefights with. So what did I have to do? I had to grind up. I had to save money in order to purchase my buzzard attack helicopter for Claudette. In other words, if you want something nice, you gotta save up for it. I know, we live in a crazy society where everybody wants it now, where you can just put it all on a credit card. And yeah, you could do that, I suppose. But at the same time, how many people can afford a credit card? You have to have a credit score in order to get a decent credit card with a certain amount of credit limit. And then you have to be willing to pay those monthly fees, right? I don't know how much it is, but you have to pay for a certain amount per month in order to have that thing that's really, really nice. And sometimes the sad reality is a lot of things that are really nice are out of our reach anyways. But in Grand Theft Auto Online, nothing really is out of your reach as long as you're willing to grind and save up for it by doing heists, contact missions, VIP work, as well as anything else that you can do in Grand Theft Auto Online to make money, like double money opportunities with various adversary modes, races, etc. So, in other words, just like in life, if you want something really nice, like this new supercar, new sports car, or a new military vehicle, or even a new property that you just had your eyes on for some time, yeah, it takes time, and you have to be willing to grind up for it, you have to be willing to save for it, and eventually you will have the money in order to purchase that item that your heart desires in Grand Theft Auto Online. The same thing goes in real life because, for example, for months I've been saving up for my brand new gaming PC. It's not cheap, but over time I was able to save up a little bit, and wham bam, I have a brand new gaming PC. So the same thing goes in life. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be able to save up and buy a Lamborghini, but there's certain things that are in reach. And the cool thing about Grand Theft Auto Online, like I mentioned, that's a little bit higher when it comes to what you can get and what you cannot get. And obviously, you can buy shark cards if you want. That's the fast and easy way to do it, especially if you have money in real life and you don't have the time to grind or save up. But at the same time, you still can, theoretically, do all the things that are in Grand Theft Auto Online to make money and, eventually get that money in order to buy the new supercar, the new sports car, property, or an attack helicopter. It just takes time, patience, and a bit of saving. Which leads to the next hard lesson in life that we learn in Grand Theft Auto Online, which, carries over to real life. The more you have, the higher the taxes. So let's just say that the high-end apartment, that 10-car garage, wasn't enough for you. You have lofty hopes and dreams. You want an executive office. You want a bunker. You want a facility. You want a hangar. Hell, you even want a yacht for some reason. Well, guess what? The more properties you own in Grand Theft Auto Online, the more you have to pay in utilities and fees for the mechanic, for all the properties you own, for the yacht, as well as the office, the secretary, the hangar, the bunker, the facilities. So the more junk you have in Grand Theft Auto Online property-wise means more you're going to be paying out in quote-unquote taxes and utilities. The same thing goes in real life. I mean, unless you're like a corporation in real life and you have all these loopholes, then I guess, there's an exception to that rule. But most of us have to pay more taxes the higher up the tax bracket we get. The same thing applies in Grand Theft Auto Online when it comes to your character. Once you get to the point where you have your own executive office or warehouses or bunkers, facilities, hangars, a yacht, yep, you're going to start seeing how much more you're going to be, giving back to Rockstar every day in quote-unquote utilities and taxes. So that definitely is an important life lesson for everyone to learn. Along with this one, pretty obvious, look both ways before you cross the street. It's common sense, and if you go out on the neighborhood or you're trying to cross the interstate, chances are you're going to get ran over if you don't look both ways. And I wouldn't recommend crossing the interstate anyways because of the high volume of traffic coming by. But even when you're just crossing a normal neighborhood road, if you don't look both ways and you think, oh, I'm just going to cross the street, it only takes a few seconds to get from this side to the other side. Well, the problem is you may have a car coming this way or that way going like 20, 30, 40 miles an hour. And before you even get across the street, bam, you're a pancake. Happens all the time to me in Grand Theft Auto Online. And unfortunately, that happens to people in real life as well. Now, some of you probably think that you're the best Grand Theft Auto Online player of all time. You have a great KD rating. You have all the toys, the best weapons, the best militarized vehicles. You think you are untouchable. But just like in real life, no matter how good you think you might be, there is always a bigger fish. There's always going to be somebody in Grand Theft Auto Online who's better than you, that has a better KD rating. Somebody that can get the drop on you. Somebody that's going to, outdraw you in battle and take you down most of the time. So always be mindful of that to some of you that think that your pixel poop don't stink when it comes to how good of a player you are in Grand Theft Auto Online. There's always someone else out there that's a little bit better than you. But the good news is there's someone out there that's a little bit better than they are. And there's also players that are worse than you, obviously, like me. But even for me, while I humble myself to admit to the fact that there are bigger fish than me, there are also smaller fish than me. There are players that are worse than me. So it's important not to be too hard on yourself. Don't be self-critical. But at the same time, don't allow your ego to get the better of you in real life or in Grand Theft Auto Online, because you may eventually come across somebody that might just have your number. One of the interesting things about Grand Theft Auto Online is it's a vast world where you run into all sorts of people just like in real life. And some of them are dressed in nice outfits, fedoras, jackets, pants, nice shoes. Some people run around in shorts, tank tops, wearing strange masks. But never judge a book by its cover. And this applies to many levels of thought. For one thing, just because somebody is running around dressed ridiculous with a beach bum attire and like has a paper garbage bag or any other random mask you can get down at Vespucci Beach, it doesn't mean that they're poor in the game. They could just, not really have a desire to spend their money on anything. It also might not necessarily mean they're a bad person. Some of my friends in Grand Theft Auto Online dress rather interestingly, and they're some of the nicest people I know in life. And they just choose to wear the weirdest, strangest, most bizarre outfits ever. But at the same time, just because you run across another player wearing a nice suit does not mean that he or she is very nice. Chances are they may be the very person that's going to grief you in 5 seconds in a Hydra or in a Hunter or an Oppressor. Obviously, this applies in real life. There's a lot of people out there that can't afford the best clothes. They do their best, or they're like me, and they rarely upgrade their attire unless they absolutely have to. Don't judge them because of what they wear. Don't judge them because how they look. Because some of the scariest people out there, the social psychopaths, especially those in government and corporate suits, they happen to wear very nice clothing. $6,000 suits and polos and khakis. And they're some of the scariest people on the planet. Now, as I've pointed out a few times regarding Grand Theft Auto Online and in life, nothing is free. Things cost money, whether it's in GTA Online or life. However, you can save yourself some money and headaches by being very mindful about what you're spending your money on. A lot of people, when they get their paycheck, they buy this, they buy that, and then they wonder why they don't have any money. And then they walk around their house, like I've done on a few occasions, and you start to wonder, why do I have all this stuff? Why do I have this? Why do I have that? Why do I need this? I don't need that. That's something that's just laying there collecting dust. I could sell that. I could make a little bit of money back. And unfortunately, that's a problem that a lot of people have in real life and in Grand Theft Auto Online. I see people all the time whenever a new DLC comes out. They have to buy everything. They have to buy all the clothes. They have to buy all the weapons. They have to buy all the vehicles. They have to buy all the property. And yes, unfortunately, combined, all that's a huge chunk of change, especially if you equate the amount of like Grand Theft Auto currency to real life money. Because, for example, $100 is a Megalodon Shark card, which equals to $8 million in the game. So you can kind of, translate the currency there from fictional money to real money. In other words, yeah, the content's very, very expensive when you look at it that way. But at the same time, just like in real life, you don't need everything you see at the store. Just be mindful of that, especially when it comes to the more expensive items in Grand Theft Auto Online. And that's another thing. My 8th point I want to bring up when it comes to real life lessons is research is your friend. And no, I'm not talking about research in bunkers. I'm talking about when it comes to acquiring new items, whether in real life or in Grand Theft Auto Online. Prime example, I've been looking for a new gaming PC over the past few months. And thanks to some of my subscribers, including Elaine, who helped me with the research on this topic, we went over, several different options for me, price-wise, as well as rating-wise, review-wise, to see which one was the best for me and was the best overall, according to other consumers that also purchased that specific item. And that goes for everything, whether it's a gaming PC or a new vehicle or a video game. By the way, plug to Carrick, one of my friends, ACG. He does some of the best reviews of video games, AAA and indie. He does the research. He goes and plays the game. He reviews it for you. And that goes for every single item in life. So if you're looking for, say, in my case, a brand new microphone, I did research in it. I found that for what I was looking for, Blue Yeti was the way to go. Or for a game capture, Elgato. Or for anything else, any other particular thing out there of interest to me or you. The internet's your friend. Do the research. Go and look and see what other people say about this particular brand or this particular item. And you may be surprised. Sometimes you think, you know what, I kind of like that item. And then you go do some research on it and you find out that it's not as good as you thought it was, but it leads you to something even better that you're going to be very happy with. The same thing applies in Grand Theft Auto Online. Like I mentioned a moment ago, you don't have to buy everything. And there's other channels out there that are dedicated to telling you what they think is the best vehicles. Like Buffy, for example. He does, top speed and lap times for all the vehicles that come out in the game. Chances are he probably already has done a video about, which vehicles are the fastest and slowest and how they rank in each category. And whenever a new vehicle comes out that's drip fed, I always do a video as well showing you exactly what's coming with that vehicle mod-wise, the price tag, as well as my honest thoughts regarding whether or not I think this vehicle or that vehicle is worth purchasing. And the same thing applies to DLC. I go over the DLC, and usually during a live stream, whenever they do a day one launch, and we look over the content, whatever I can afford, by the way, and then I just give you my honest thought. Like, okay, this is what I like about this DLC. This is what I don't like about it. And that way, that gives you a better idea of what you may want to consider buying in a future update in Grand Theft Auto Online and what you may want to avoid at all costs. Just like with some of the biker businesses. There's one or two that's really good. The rest of them kind of suck. There's other ways of making money in the game. And there's also items in the game that are a complete waste of time, like the yacht. Number 9 on my list of life lessons in Grand Theft Auto Online, communication is key. In order to have a good, strong working relationship or friendship, it's important to communicate with your friends or with your coworkers, with your teammates. If you play basketball or you bowl together or you go hiking or whatever you do together, whether it's just a friend or a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a husband, a wife, a partner, communication is the foundation of our species. It's important to communicate, especially between, a boss or an employee under you or, someone that's working for you or somebody that you've hired. It's important to communicate. Go back and forth and tell them exactly what you want. Because sometimes there can be communication breakdown. Like whenever it came to me designing my new logo, my new graphics with my graphics guy. He lives in a different country. And, we had to go back and forth several times over email for me to give him the idea of what I wanted, for him to come back with his idea. And sometimes it kind of got interesting. There was a bit of communication breakdown, but we worked through it. A lot of it was on my end. A lot of it was my fault. I accept responsibility for that. But the point is, communication is very important in real life at all levels. And it's very important in Grand Theft Auto Online, specifically whenever you're doing something like a heist or contact missions, or you're doing jobs, or you're doing a team deathmatch or adversary mode with your teammates, and you're having to coordinate a little bit. You stand a much better chance of success in an adversary mode with teammates or doing a heist. So most definitely, communication is important in Grand Theft Auto Online as well as real life. And the final lesson in life that you can learn in Grand Theft Auto Online that equates to real life is practice makes perfect. So you want to learn to play a guitar, or you're in your teens, you want to become a driver. Obviously, practice makes perfect. You have to take classes, and you have to gain that knowledge and experience in order to become better at the guitar or a musical instrument or driving a vehicle, for example, or learning a trade, like becoming a plumber or a mechanic or an electrician or a doctor. The same thing applies in Grand Theft Auto Online and any other game. Whenever you start the game, for the most part, you really have no idea what you're doing because it's a brand new game. It's new to you. Just like playing a musical instrument is new, or starting a new sport is new, or taking an art class if you've never done art before but you've always wanted to, whether it's doodling or sculpturing or painting. It's new. And when you first start out in anything, you're gonna suck. But it does take time, it does take patience and dedication in order for you to get better at anything, whether it's Grand Theft Auto Online, video games in general, or anything else in real life. And there you have it, my life lessons that can be learned in Grand Theft Auto Online. If you have a life lesson that you've learned from Grand Theft Auto Online that I did not mention, feel free and leave it below in the comments section.